So let us look at basic governance 101. Again, what it means to be secular means the absence of the spirit, right? It separates church and state. It's a secular society. They separate all the ideas of God from the state. You can't say, God said this, so let's make this law as such. You can represent your constituents and what they believe. Okay? Now, a lot of people don't truly get that, because even when people do say things like that, that's not what they're saying. You don't see a priest come out, in Congress and say, God said this, and all of you will obey. No, it is a secular society. Morality, truth, and God are separated from politics. That is what it means to be American. Secular, a synonym for that is worldly. Another synonym, a good synonym, is Satanism. Okay, the absence of God is evil. Which evil path are you going to take? Like in the occult, there's the left-hand path, the right-hand path, the jacking off a goat, whatever those bitches are talking about these days. And I do mean bitches. Fucking cowards. Anyway, so basic governance. Let's take the small town, for instance. Nobody doubts this in a small town. In the city, they kind of forget that it's divided into regions and districts. South San Jose, East San Jose, Evergreen area, or whatever, right? So in a small town, and these districts are like small towns of their own, right? To some extent, right? There's something similar going on in these areas. It's sliced in a way that these things can be controlled, and there's 2 million Masons and all these other privileged ninnies who ultimately make sure they micromanage things more than people think, much more. Okay, small town cops, the mayor, city council, they play football, they play golf together. You know how it works. Business owners, right? Discounts for law enforcement, doctors and their patients. Schools help glue these groups together, right? They're from the class of 99, the class of 2002, or whatever. Okay. Martial arts schools also create communities within communities and networking. They serve as networking centers. There's 4 martial arts schools at least in Morgan Hill for 30,000 people. 4 martial arts schools. My goodness. That's less than 1,000, people. Excuse me, less than 10,000 people per school. You think about it, how many people are interested in martial arts, right? How many people are interested in that martial art, You break it all down, and how many, could they go somewhere else? And you really break it down, you see that, wow, okay, these guys have gone out of their way to create centers and allow for businesses who are attached to greater cultures to rise up and affect and influence the culture. And these are they may as well have American flags in the front and a whore with just an American thong on, shaking her tits for everyone who passes by. These people enforce American culture, first and foremost. That's why they're allowed to exist. The war on terror is about overkilling the fact that you must be a secular or satanic ninny to survive in America. Period. Think about it. You think these people are plugging people in the church for no reason? Or because that's what God demands? You think they're covering it up because they're in the true spirit of God? The true spirit of God is ill-gotten gains and covering up debauchery? You think the Klan, which is a Protestant organization, worships the one true God when they're running a train on an old black woman? How stupid would you have to be? Or you think they're burning black churches because they're called soul brothers? Burning the cross is like pissing on the cross. It's a lake of fire. It's like saying Jesus goes to hell. Go to hell with your morality is the message they're sending. And then they stand in a circle holding hands. The O is the reproductive cycle. And they say stay away from the white girl. Yeah. You coming? Yeah, I'll be right back. All right, so let's really quick. I got to go. So think about the bobcat catching the squirrel, the falcon flying down, hitting the mouse. Air Jordan, right? He's skywalking in a sense, right? But the true skywalking is on the ground, car walking with God. That's why it's called walking, not flying. The cap of authority, right? This mind, body, and soul, this was a symbol of authority. The top martial artist isn't supposed to be a puppet. He's supposed to be an authority figure. Good guys suffer. Okay, at the end of women basically work for cultures and not for themselves. They don't have sovereignty over their body. They never have. They represent cultures that force them to date in a certain way, and they're even told not to date me. They've gone as far as to make sure no woman can date me. Think about how much control I've discussed in part 1 and how that relates to what I just said. Also, Dr. Delgado made it clear he wanted to change the social hierarchies when he was doing his mind control experiments and make it clear that they'll spend billions of dollars and more than that to control reproduction and who you idolize, right? The social hierarchies are who you emulate, who teach you how to have sex, and who creates the rules for gender relations and so on and so forth, and sexual relations. Okay? They'll go way out of their way to control that. So you are sex slaves, and debt slaves is just another way to make you, to more effectively make you a sex slave.